or most recent coaching position, and share a bit about your coaching history and accomplishments.
Okay, my name is Jonathan, and I'm with FC Valencia. It's a football club, soccer club. Um, we have been participating here in our Youth 15 Soccer League in Tucson, and last year we've accomplished winning state champions. So we're currently state champions until this season.
What is your favorite coaching moment or memory?
My favorite coaching moment and memory, I would say last year was definitely one of the best memories because I was able to feel and see our accomplishment as a team under a very stressful moment on our state championship tournament. How our team got together and under those circumstances, and we were able to accomplish and achieve a victory. So,
what is the most difficult coaching moment or incident you faced?
It would be the opposite of the previous question. The most difficult moment is seeing our team being dismantled by another competitive team under very stressful situations where our planning and our efforts don't pay off at the end of the scoreboard. When there's a high competition and our team is just being demolished by another team. So that's definitely a difficult moment, not seeing the results that we are expecting.
Okay, what potential role and impact can coaches have in young people's lives?
I think it's very nice. It's a very nice experience that as a player, as a player takes that experience of having a positive effect by a coach. I remember myself as a player. I can speak as a player. I remember very positive things of my coaches and the way that they affected my life, and I hope I'm doing the same for my team. So, and it's not only in the field, but in a personal and ordinary life. We believe that we can affect them in a very positive way with discipline and organization and a team effort fundamentals.
How has coaching changed over time, especially considering generational change?
Well, I remember in my times as a player, it has drastically changed in a disciplined way, I would say. Back in the day, our coaches were very disciplined and very hard on us. As generations has passed, or if you're dividing generations as young and older people, they all vary in the way that we coach. Older people are more of like the old school, traditional way of coaching. They're more easy to be disciplined during their games and practices. Younger people are definitely different to coach. Because younger kids are barely learning, so you also have to consider that the age might be a little more. Well, it's just different. It's just different in the way that you have to adapt to a younger mentality of how.
What kind of relationship do you try to create with your athletes, and why are relationships so important, generally speaking?
The relationship I provide with my athletes is very personal. I try to make them feel as more comfortable as they can with me. They can come to me for any subject or problem that they're dealing with, even in and outside of the field. So I believe that's very important because that way we create a bond in our team where we're only not just a competitive physical team, but we're a team as in I want them to feel that support in every way, not just in the field, in a personal way as well. I think that's very important, and it creates a healthy relationship with the team, all the way around. They're just completely comfortable with us.
Okay. How do you motivate different kinds of athletes and personalities?
Um, Definitely it varies the motivation that each player requires. Um, usually, it's a very competitive motivation in our sport. We set up drills and practices that wakens up that competitive side of each individual player, and they give the best out of them every single time in our drills and practices. So I would say it's a competitive method.
Okay. How do you choose team captains, and what roles do you see them playing in the team dynamics you try to create?
Um, Choosing team captains is a combination of personality skills, attitude, competitive skills, and leadership skills. So, being able to identify all those during practices and drills before that time comes is definitely a challenge because you have to also consider how other players feel with certain.
How would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style is definitely with a lot of authority, but also in a very personal, like I said earlier, fashion, where I show my leadership by showing up on time, being available for our players 24/7, whatever they need. They definitely know that they can count on me, and I believe that's a very leadership skill that us as coach need.
Okay. In what ways does your personality impact the way you coach, good or bad, or good and bad?
My personality, I think, is a very smooth going personality in the field. Like I said earlier, I want to make my players feel comfortable with me. So I am not very harsh, but at the same time, there's a fine line between whether the players or the athletes feel comfortable with you or could take advantage of that trust and comfort that you're providing and slack on their performance.
Okay. How do you go about preparing, planning, and organizing as a coach? And what do you think? Why do you think this is important?
Planning is very important before any practices or game. Obviously, I mean, practices is pretty much planning for a competitive match, but organizing the drills, practices, all that is very fundamental to our sport. I get together with our coaches, set up a drill plan for the practice day, and that's how we achieve best performance and time saving because we only have certain times to be with our players. So all the planning and organization has to be done before practice starts.
Okay. Why is it critical for coaches to consider age, skill level, and other environmental context?
Well, obviously, age difference most of the time, age difference brings skill levels. So, you have to be able to identify what's the skill level that each player has according to their age, so that they can feel comfortable competing at a certain level. So that is a very important section of our duties as coach to be able to identify how much skill level each player has as an individual and including age. Some of our athletes are at a young age and are competing at a high level. So it does have an impact, but like I said, some athletes have great skill level at a certain age.
Okay. How do you have positive relationships with parents, administrators, fellow coaches, and other stakeholders?
I would say that I have a great relationship with parents. I don't usually have any issues with parents. I think they feel comfortable with our staff. Um, I have a great relationship with the rest of the staff. So um, I think all that is very important as well because that makes us all feel comfortable. And like I said, it makes us a team to be able to achieve greater goals in life and in our competitive matches.
How can coaches influence athletes' lives outside of sports and encourage positive and pro-social behavior as well as academic and professional success?
Um, it's something that I think impacts in a very different way as a non-athlete compared to a non-athlete because um, it's definitely a social activity in what we participate, and in a social activity you gather up different personalities, you learn different styles, you learn leadership, you learn um, um, personality traits and skills. So all that affects our athletes in a positive way, I hope. And I think that's one of the major things here, having an extracurricular activity outside can affect in a very positive way academically and social.
How do you think you create an inclusive and safe environment for all types of athletes, considering issues of race, gender, sexual orientation, etc.?
Well, most of my athletes are male, but in race concerns and stuff, luckily we haven't had any issues. But if we ever did, I don't think it would go to majors. But because we show we show our brotherhood, and we don't discriminate any type of person, type of skill level, type of age. Um, we treat everyone equal, and I think that's how we would handle any situation if that came to it.
Okay. Why should coaches be especially knowledgeable about Title IX?
I believe Title IX is it's a educational act for discrimination. So I I believe coaches have to have knowledge in that because it helps out being able to identify some type of discrimination that is going on in the field or in the team or in practices, and having knowledge about that will definitely help us out a lot in being able to stop and take action in those type of events.
How can coaches proactively minimize liabilities and risk generally?
Physical risk and liabilities. We obviously educate our athletes to have stretches, proper stretches, proper warm ups. Those are great fundamentals to prevent any liabilities or incidents.
What are some effective and ineffective approaches to discipline?
Um, I believe discipline is a thin line with regarding parents and athletes, but an effective discipline manner or strategy that we use is, I believe it's a harsh. That's the effective way that we've been able to get great results. We show them character. We show them that there's consequences when there's certain things that aren't being followed and certain practices that aren't being done in a correct manner. We discipline them by either making them have extra laps. Pretty much, punishment is our discipline method um, when our athletes aren't following our organization or our plan. An ineffective method that we have not gotten great results is by being too soft or too easy on the athletes, because then they get this idea that it's okay to not follow our drills and plans, and we don't get the results that we are expecting.